Welcome, moms. Welcome to Inside the Moms Club. I'm your host, Monica Samuels, and I'm here with my lovely co-host and sometimes roommate, Julie Orchid.
That's right. We're friends. We're co-hosts or hosts together of Inside the Moms Club.
We are, and when we're out here in Los Angeles, we share a hotel room.
Yes.
Which is always an interesting experience.
And last night was a new experience.
Particularly, yes. The fact that we're still saying we're friends after that is quite an accomplishment. Because last night...
Accident.
I was watching a podcast on my iPad in bed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden...
Loudly.
Okay, it wasn't that loud. All of a sudden, out of the blue, I see this figure appear over me.
Yeah.
Grab my iPad, slam it shut, and shove it in the dresser there.
Now, I can see how that would make you a little edgy if it was true. I mean,
it is true.
It is a little true, but it was very dark. I couldn't see what was happening, and maybe the podcast had been playing, as my kids would say, 6, 7, like a long time. Yeah. So I thought you were asleep, in all fairness.
You thought I was asleep, but I was awake.
I'm so sorry. That's so rude of me.
That's my first thought was, how rude.
I think you felt sorry for my kids because...
Yeah, now I know how they felt.
Yeah.
Because then I was afraid. So that was the next thing that happened.
Watching TV is over. It's over.
No, first I did the passive-aggressive thing.
You sure did.
And I jumped out of bed to make it clear that I was awake, but you didn't seem to care.
I had headphones on, which is normal for when you're listening to
And then I went and got back in bed and thought, okay, now I can't, what am I going to do to go to sleep? Because now I don't have anything. It's like, she doesn't want me to have this thing on. But then I had a plan.
Yeah.
Like when you're a little kid, I got it out.
Yeah.
Turned it on as low as I could, and I created this sound barrier with pillows.
So you were hiding under the covers.
Yeah, and a cave over myself.
Yeah.
And that
total accident.
And that didn't seem to bother you, but
no.
Yeah. No, I felt like a child. Again.
I'm so sorry about that. I've apologized a million times. If you were awake, I would have asked. But I had headphones on. I couldn't hear what was going on, and it was very dark. So I hope we can still be roommates.
We can still, yeah.
I won't parent you like a 5-year-old.
I had to think about it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But reliving that reminded me of like when I was a child.
Yeah. There's rules,
which I can barely remember.
Bedtime and
So I'm excited about our guest because I want to talk to her about things that remind me of that. Because let me explain. Our guest today is an actress, producer, host, and author who garnered the love of millions on the hugely popular sitcom Full House and the Netflix spinoff Fuller House.
Yes.
And fans can currently tune in to hear her and her on-screen frenemy and current BFF, Andrea Barber, who together co-host How Rude, Tanneritos, and she's the mother of 2 teenage daughters. Welcome, Jodie Sweetin. Welcome to the Moms Club. We're so thrilled that you could join us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad. I'm glad you're here. And when How Rude came to mind, it was like naturally.
I think that's what she wanted to say last night, Jodie. Is how rude.
Look, I have to say, I've got to side. I can't side with you on this one, Monica. You need headphones.
Yes, girl.
When you're sharing a room, the brightness and you got it.
Okay,
headphones. If there's anyone else within hearing distance, otherwise. You're the problem.
I described it as the person in the airport.
That's not a great way to come on someone's show and tell them that you're the problem. But in this scenario, I think really the how rude belongs to her.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
All right.
Well, okay, I want to give you a little heads up on the first part of that, though. Do you know why I had that on? Is because of the snoring coming from the next bed. So I was trying to drown that one out. So see, there was something going on there. But no, I will take that. I guess there's no how rude for that. I apologize.
That's
right. It sounds like you both need to travel with earplugs.
I think you're right. That's probably absolutely right. We're slow. It's only been 4 years, but we're learning how to do these things.
True.
But the reason I brought all that up is it reminded me of like being a kid, like when your parent shows up and takes something from you because you're not supposed to have your phone, or you're not supposed to have your iPad. And I thought, I can't even. I had the feeling of being that young, but I'd forgotten what it's like to be that young. And then I thought about the show today and what we're doing. And looking back through all the episodes of Full House and looking at you when you were 5 years old when you started,
Yeah, to 13.
And now you have a podcast where you're looking through all that. What's it like to see yourself at that age? I mean, you literally get to watch yourself grow up, be that age. Is it kind of surreal? Because to me, I barely remember being
right?
a
I mean,
little
I barely
kid.
remember this morning. These days, the perimenopausal brain fog is really kicking in. It's super fun. But going back and watching the show is so much fun because I never watched it growing up. I haven't watched these episodes, so it brings back. It's like watching an old home movie that you haven't seen in a really long time. It brings back these memories, and I think as an adult having the perspective, it's like you can sort of laugh with yourself, but there's that time in like your middle school, teenage years when you're just like mortified because, oh my God, I've got a catchphrase and everyone knows it,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the show ended when you were, what, 13 or 14?
I was 13 and I was finishing 8th grade that year, and then I was going into high school. So it was just kind of a big time of shifting in general. It was a lot.
So I watched or listened to some of your podcasts. And so how do you remember? Like, is it a memory that sparks? And because you're not kidding about the brain fog, but I'm just saying, does it spark? Like you remember like something and then you're able to talk about it?
Oh, yeah. Things that happened in the past, I can remember. It's the more recent things. No, I truly. But I have so many. It's like growing up. Like they're all of my childhood memories. Like they're all important things that it's like that was the house I grew up in, quote unquote. It didn't have 4 walls or a roof, but that was the house I grew up in, and so like I knew the ins and out of everything on there.
In a lot of ways, it's got to be kind of cool to be able to see yourself through those years, and because you can't remember it, but
right?
And for your kids to see that, your 2 daughters, did they ever
watch and look back and say,
"No, that's my mom when she was 8"?
They don't really care.
They don't care. They watched maybe a couple episodes when they were younger, but like Full House was not their thing. They were more into like Tim Burton and interest, like weird anime stuff like that when they were little. But Full House, they watch it and they were like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, can we watch what we wanted now?" Even when they came to Fuller House, they were a little bit older, and they would come on Friday nights to the tapings, but they didn't want to sit in the audience and watch what was happening. They wanted to be backstage, hanging out with the kids on the show and eating craft service. So,
absolutely. Our audience remembers this show really well. Do you have a favorite one that you'd love to share with us today?
Oh, gosh.
I know there's so many, but I mean, is there something that comes to mind that you always like to talk about?
There's so many, but I have to say, in recent watching, we've now made it through like almost 5 complete seasons of Full House. I love the Stephanie car in the kitchen moment. I just love it. It's so good. It's such a great episode. There's so many good moments in it. There's such a sweet moment at the end with Danny and Steph. And I think maybe that's also we watched it and it really just stuck with me again because it was just such a sweet scene with me and Bob.
I love that share.
But I love that episode, and it's one that I get from fans a lot, which is the car through the kitchen, because it was just outrageous. Yeah.
Now your career, so that's just you've done so many things as we've looked through your career. Wow, you have been.
We could jump all around.
Oh yeah, well let's talk about now. So you're now very involved in stand-up. That's what your main focus is. I mean, I know you have a podcast.
Yeah, so I've been doing some stand-up. Kind of my pet project right now is a show called Smoke Show with Sweetin, a comedy pageant, and we're really building up our audience. We figured out our streaming stuff, and we're looking at that so that we can start streaming it, to anybody who wants to watch, because not everyone is in LA. But it is so much fun, and my 2 friends produce it with me, Sabrina and Gia Cognata, and they're sisters, and we pick the most outrageous, inappropriate things to put comedians through the the weirdest beauty pageant that you've ever seen. Yeah, it's great.
wow.
And we've gotten some great reviews. Julie Seabaugh who did all the comedy stuff at LA Times has come every week, and she's like, this is one of the best monthly shows. So that's a huge compliment. But
Yeah, no,
that's like moving more into comedy, moving more into kind of writing, directing. Like, I mean, I love acting. I'd love to be able to do, there's a couple projects that I have, a couple scripts that trying to get those off the ground that are a little bit different, darker, more dramatic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That brings me to what dateless. Am I going to get it wrong? Tell us about
you know
that.
what?
Wait,
the script
Dateless
that
to
I
Dangerous
had was a different title anyway, so I don't even know what title they wound up going
You're like
with.
you're changing it all
Something
around.
about my 17-year-old son and Dateless and Dangerous. It's about incels basically. It's about the radicalization of young men online.
Oh, wow.
Which is a thing.
It's a huge thing.
yeah.
It's a huge thing. And, I play a mom to two teenagers, a boy and a girl. And, the boy is really struggling with fitting in and getting, girls. And, he's like an awkward kid. He's like we all were. But he is really involved kind of in gaming and starts getting more and more in these kind of radicalized, misogynistic, violent areas of the internet, which we know exist. And then, mom is like, what has happened to you? What's going on?
Right.
So, it was, I really enjoyed being able to do something more dramatic,
Yeah.
That's the role I saw you play in there, and I was like, wow, she's going to get a hold of this kid, and we're going to, right the ship.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, what do you prefer? Do you prefer comedy or do you prefer drama, and what inspired you to seemed like you're really into comedy, obviously. That's been most of your career, and now in stand-up. You were surrounded by comedians, I mean, growing up. Did that inspire you, or have you always been just like this naturally hilarious person who had, you're just naturally funny, and so you were driven?
I would like to think it's a combination of both. And I will say that Bob, he always gave me one of the biggest compliments, which was, he told me, he said, at 5 years old, you had better comedic timing than most stand-ups I'd ever seen as adults. And he really meant it. And he would say it all the time and in interviews. And he was like, you really got it. So I think it was something that I was sort of, I was bright as a kid. And I think comedy and wit, it requires the ability to kind of look at things and see things and, get the joke. And I did at a very early age. So, growing up around two stand-up comedians, as well as their friends who are also stand-ups and all this stuff, I learned a lot about comedy, and I learned a lot of inappropriate jokes, which which went over my head at the time, but now I get
You're like,
them.
wait, I've heard that a long time ago. So I have a quick question. You brought up Bob, and so would love to have, it's so sad, but I also want to know a positive last memory that you had with him and, what he meant to you.
Oh my gosh.
I know that's a loaded question, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He was very popular.
I'm trying to remember the last time I had seen him. I believe we had been at Jeff's house, Jeff Franklin, our creator. And I believe it was for like a barbecue or some Labor Day kind of holiday, whatever. We would get together for like family barbecues, and we'd always go to Jeff's. Bob was always kind of the gatherer of the people, and it would be like a family barbecue at Jeff's house. And I have so many memories of Bob and his laughter. Yeah. Like I can hear his laughter, and I can hear him say, "Hey, Joe." Like I know the sound of his voice, and I can still hear it in my head.
Yeah.
And Bob was he was a hugely influential part of my life, and Bob, I have a very dark sense of humor. I think I kind of always did, but certainly being around, stand-up comedians, particularly Bob, really, I was like, oh, you can be funny and be dark. You can laugh at painful things. I watched Bob and Dave go through losing their sisters and their parents through really horrible battles with cancer and scleroderma. And they made jokes the whole time, jokes to their sisters, jokes to their family, jokes to like they laughed at it because otherwise it eats you alive.
Yeah. Well, that's what, our tagline for our show is if you don't laugh, sometimes you're going to cry, because that's kind of a mom thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we believe in that, so that that's where
my friend and I did a mom/comedy podcast. It was I hate to call it like mom advice, because it was probably everything that you shouldn't do, but it was her and I, and it was called Never Thought I'd Say This, and it was just about all of the things that, like, as a mom, you're like, I never thought that sentence would have to leave my mouth in regards to another human being.
Oh,
like,
totally.
we don't lick the toilet lid. I didn't. You'd think that, like, humans know that, but when they're little, they don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like to say I run like a really tight shipwreck. That's what I like to say, because
yeah, we're like little pirates over here.
Yeah.
Complete with sailor mouths. So it's
I don't think people know that you have 2 daughters.
Yes.
And they're teenagers.
I do, 17 and 15.
And how do you talk to them about, like, working full time and doing it all and juggling? Like today, you had to make a shift, a right, a left.
Sometimes I'm better at balancing things, and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I can be present with them and more focused, and sometimes I'm away shooting a movie for 3.5, 4 weeks, and they have to be kind of independent. And I mean, they have their dads in their lives. They're not like off on their own, but they have seen me go through relationship breakups and, not having any money and figuring it out, and driving a car that somebody gave me, and just to make sure that I could get to a job that, I was making $10 an hour at, and I was fine with. Like, they have watched me do all of those things. And I would like to think that they, it's hard to be a mom and a working mom. We all, we know that there is no balance. People say, how do you balance it all? You're like, I don't.
Right.
But I would like to think that the moments that I wasn't there, that I did have to show up for something that I love to do, that's important to me, that's my career. I hope that my girls saw that not as something that was more important than them, but as something that they should do too, that we all need fulfilling lives, because
we all get to pursue
we all can have that, whether you're a mom, like, that's okay. We had an amazing, nanny, and my grandparents or my parents, and, that you call in the village and you help. And I just always hope that my daughters saw that there was nothing that ever held me back.
Well, real quick question, this off the top of your head. Do you, if you're like a lot of people, you enjoy spas, I would imagine. Do you like to go to the spa? Okay. What's your favorite spa experience? Do you have one favorite thing that, like, if this is the first thing, if it's the only thing I get to do, this is what I want to do?
I think it's, So my daughter, my older one, for her 16th birthday, she wanted to go to Disneyland. So we went to Disneyland and really lived it up at the Disneyland Grand Californian, which has a beautiful spa in it. And there was the most just magical, like, meditation, because it's all sort of, based in nature, and it was amazing. And also, one of my favorite facial places, it's called Sula. It was called Sula Face, but now it's just Sula. She's opened another place here in LA. They do buccal massage. So she does a facial that, like, they put on gloves and they get in and, like, work all of this jaw tension, all of the lymphatic drainage. Let me tell you, when you finish, you're like, there's cheekbones. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It, like, if you can get it the day of or day before an event, like, it just it makes you glow.
It lifts
It's called
and
Sula.
shows- yeah.
It's amazing.
That does sound amazing.
Owner's
I'm gonna
name is
try
Amanda.
that.
They started in Toronto, and I got my first treatment up there.
Okay.
And then I've stayed in touch with her, and now they have
Well,
an LA version.
I'm on
Well, we've got an idea for you for another spa experience. So we're very
That's true.
excited that we have a new sponsor.
that. Yes.
Oh,
Woodlock Resorts, which was named the #1 best all-inclusive resort in the U.S. for 2025. It's in the Poconos. It's only
Ooh.
2 hours.
So it's not like
beautiful.
in Texas where it's 400 degrees for the past 4 months.
They
It's
might have a
real
sauna, but it's not
sauna.
like walking out your front door and
Got
that's
it.
your sauna. Like they have got everything. And we are so excited to have them as part of our Inside the Moms Club family and to be a sponsor for our
nice.
Zoomer moms. And with that, let me welcome a bunch of ladies who'd like to ask you questions, Jodie, our Zoomer moms. Welcome, Zoomer moms, to the Moms Club.
hi, Zoomer moms.
Hi, ladies. Well, I want to introduce each one of you and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And do you have a question for Jodie? Let's start with Janine. Hi, Janine. Welcome to the Moms Club.
Hi, it's good to see you. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely.
The question that I have, and it's about all of our busy lives, and when you're pulled in so many directions and responsibilities and children and work and philanthropies, all of that, sometimes it's hard to squeeze in the time that you need to take care of you and to feel grounded through habits or routines. Can you share some of your thoughts about having some habits and routines that kind of keep your head screwed on straight?
Absolutely. So this year, like early in the year, I started really having this moment of like, I feel untethered. I get like you were talking when you're just so busy and you're like, I feel like I'm trying to catch up with my own thoughts and my own life. And you're like kind of racing after yourself almost. I realized, okay, I need to take some time in the morning and really slow down, even if it's 10 minutes. And I started this journaling practice, and then I found this journal company. It's a woman-owned, South Asian woman-owned company called Silk and Sonder, and it's a monthly journal thing, and it's a combination of like bullet journaling for your day, so you can kind of write everything out, and also like there's a theme of the month, like resiliency or acceptance or whatever. And then in the journal, there's also like little questions for you to reflect on. And there's like a 10-minute thing each morning.
Ooh, I love that.
And so I have
that's
really
cool.
in this year made it a huge priority for me. And I can't tell you how just that 10 minutes and literally like writing down my day, even though it's in my phone, writing it down somehow feels like, okay, I can manage this. This is really actually not that bad. Like this is doable. Sometimes in my phone, it's like there's so many lines and I'm like, oh God, it's too much. But I really think like finding a practice for 5 or 10 minutes, even if it's in your car, whatever it might be, find something that works for you and try and stick with it for more than 90 days. Be really religious about it for the first 90 days, because that's about how long it takes
To be a habit.
Yeah.
build habits. And it's really changed my life, my mental health. I
Yeah,
highly
that's-
recommend.
I agree.
That's great.
Small
I'm gonna
bits
have
of
to
journaling
try
in the
that.
morning.
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll
No, I journal
We're
all
going
the
to
time.
check that out
Yeah.
for sure. Danny is Janine's daughter, so we're very
Oh.
mother-daughter oriented here.
Oh, I love it.
Welcome
Hello.
to the Moms Club. Tell us a little about yourself, and do you have a question for Jodie?
Yes, and good to meet you. I'm a huge fan. I feel like
you.
I've grown up with you, but you do not know me.
It's always interesting, people grew up with me, but I have no idea.
Yes, exactly. And it seems like you have lived so much life off the screen, and you've dipped your toes into a lot of different areas. I'm curious for you, who have been your greatest support systems, or what have been your support systems and why?
That's a great question.
Oh man. I mean, my parents have always supported me and, love me and like have always just wanted the best for me. But I will say as I've gotten like in my 30s and 40s, even a little earlier than that, but I really have found a great group of women that I surround myself with. And I was talking about this the other day about how, I think we're told that girls can't get along or that we're mean to each other or whatever. And so there's this weird stigma, I think, that carries on even into your 20s about like who to trust and how to trust women. And, once I really got over that, I have sisters that I've been friends with for, 15, 16 years now that have seen my kids in the, hospital over FaceTime, like that are just a part of my life. And I couldn't do it without them. And I also have a really badass female team of a manager, publicist, social media person. Like I have an all female team, which I didn't pick it necessarily that way, but man, let me tell you, those women have supported me.
So Jodie, you have a mom's club.
But
You're going to have
essentially,
to start a chapter here because that's
speaking our
exactly
language.
what this show is all about. So I'm thrilled to hear that.
I know.
Christy, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question for Jodie?
Thank you. Yes, Christy Pruitt-Haynes from Nashville, Tennessee. Hello. And so I am on sort of the other side of mothering. I'm an empty nester, which took a lot to get used to. I literally wrote a book about it to try and process all of this. But knowing that you're getting to that point, your girls are getting older, how are you preparing for that kind of transition? Or have you even thought about that yet? And what do you feel like is sort of next as you start moving towards that new phase of mothering?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because, both my girls have two different dads from two different marriages because, I was busy.
I'm with
I
you.
was busy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one baby daddy wasn't enough. I had to get two.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Try again. Yeah. And then if you don't succeed again, then
one more time.
Then enjoy for the next 18 years. No, my girls, they've always gone back and forth between me and their dads. Even when they were younger, my older daughter, her dad and I split when she was around 6 months old. And my younger daughter, her dad and I split when she was about 3. Mm-hmm. And they had kind of gotten used to the routine of going back and forth between here and dad. So there's these moments of like, okay, it's just me. I've got to fit in like all the stuff that I want to do on, this weekend or whatever, especially when they were little. Now they don't care about me. You know what I mean? Unless I'm providing money. But
true story.
Yeah.
I think I have also made it a priority, particularly raising 2 young women, to raise really independent young women, not who are so closed off and I can do it all myself, but who know that no matter what, they can get up after falling down and keep going and try again. And so I'd like to think that sort of this next phase, and my older one is kind of there. She's like looking for jobs and she's decided she wants to go to, community college first and then transfer. And, she's got a plan.
Yeah.
She told me, the other day she's got a plan. And then her car broke down. She's like, here's what I'm going to do. Looked everything up. She's got a plan. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Everything I did and said, it's working. It's working.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's right. And it's, but I think that I'm actually really excited for this next phase, sort of the fledgling, like launching, because my girls are so smart and funny and talented and independent and deep and kind. Like I am so excited to see who they become.
Yeah, where it all goes.
I kind of don't mind this moment of sitting back and getting to watch them go out in the world a little bit.
That is
I think
very
it's actually
cool.
pretty cool.
That's a great.
I'm sure
great
at one
attitude.
point. Now talk to me at her high school graduation.
Okay,
Yeah, sitting there bawling.
It'll be
thinking
totally
about all the
different
time I missed, all the times that were great.
Yeah.
Then I'll be a mess. But
Jodie,
right
you've
now
made
where
a
I
great
sit,
place
it
of teaching
looks
those girls
actually
where home is.
like a really beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's cool. Well, I love your attitude about all of that. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Share
we
with
loved
us
having you.
on social media. Where can our audience find you? Share all your
You can find
social
me
media
on
handles.
Instagram and TikTok at Jodie Sweetin, Sweetin. You can also check out my comedy show at Smoke Show with Sweetin. And we're going to start streaming that so you can see it wherever you're at. And then How Rude Tanneritos is my Full House rewatch podcast with Andrea Barber, who played Kimmy Gibbler. So you can find us at How Rude Podcast on IG there. So there's a few places you can spot me, and I'm sure you'll hear my voice on an obnoxious amount of podcasts.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah.
Truly my
good
pleasure.
answers,
Thank you.
good questions, you guys.
Yeah,
I
it was
mean, really
Great
enjoyed
questions.
that.
Really,
Thank you,
I
Zoomer
love
moms.
thoughtful
All of our
mom questions like that. You know, it's like not about the other stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We get to connect as moms, and I love that.
Exactly. We're the Moms Club. That's what we're all about.
That's right.
Supporting each other, women supporting women. So
What do you have to say about the Moms Club?
what do I have to say about it? It's the best. I mean, it's friendship. This is what it's all about.
I was thinking of the motto, but you have other things
well,
to tell
I have
us.
other things to share.
That's
like
right.
thank you to our sponsors. We want to make a special thanks to our Zuber Mom sponsor again, Woodlock Resort, for helping make this episode possible with 67 years of heartfelt hospitality and 3 amazing properties, including one of the top destination spas and family resorts in the U.S.
Okay.
Woodlock is truly where tradition meets tranquility. Julie, we are definitely going there.
Getaway for sure.
Absolutely. Discover the perfect getaway at woodlock.com. And you know what makes the perfect resort stay even better?
Tell me.
Nucalm, spelled Nucalm. It's the #1 stress relief and sleep app. It puts recovery first.
Where do you sign up for that?
Go to your app store and
Okay.
go Nucalm.
Got it.
And if you put Moms Club in the code at checkout, you get 15% off every month of your subscription.
Excellent.
So definitely do that. Well, moms, we can't thank you enough for joining us again. It goes by so fast.
It does.
Remember our motto, if you don't laugh sometimes,
You are
you
gonna
are going
cry.
to cry. So laugh out there, moms. We'll see you next time inside the Moms Club.
That's right.